Okay, so for the belt, as I mentioned earlier, the length of the belt, that is, the belt is the one that's the face, as in the body of the face cover, goes into the belt. It goes into the belt. So the belt, as I mentioned earlier, should not be less than 35 inches. So here we have 35 inches and the width is 2 inches. So here is the piece of fabric I have for the belt. The length I have cut out is 36 inches. Okay, this is 30. Okay, I think it is supposed to be 36 inches. Yes, it is 36 inches. And the wideness here is 8 inches. As I told you that the belt needs to be a little bit thick, so it is folded in. So this is what you are going to do. You will now take the belt, fold the width into two like so. You fold the width into two like so. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to mark out that thickness of 2 inches. I'm going to mark it out like this and then give it a notch. After folding into two, I'm going to mark 2 inches from the folded edge. I'm going to mark 2 inches. After marking, I'm now going to give it a tiny slit, which I had already done. I just wanted to show you. So the tiny slit was just to guide me on how I am going to iron it, as in on where to fold, on how to fold while ironing. So now I'm just going to open it back, and then this is just basically what I'm going to do. I'm going to fold it at the slit, that is at the 2-inch mark. I'm going to fold it like this on both sides. I'm going to fold it like this on both sides. The slit is going to guide me. So after folding, I'll iron it down and then fold it into two like so. So that is what I'm going to do now.
رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا رضيت بالله ربا وبالإسلام دينا وبمحمد صلى الله عليه وسلم سلم نبيا ورسولا.
So you see, after ironing means our niqob is now ready for sewing. So what I'm going to take this to the sewing machine. We are now going to sew it like this. Sew the sides. This is actually easy to do, but it takes a lot of meticulousness if you want it to come out perfect. So you sew it like this, sew it down, and then lift this up. Try and find the center, lift it up, put it inside, and then close it down like this. You see, it's as easy as that. Now, so the next step is that now we are going to sew round the body of the face covering. So I'm just going to start sewing it as slowly as possible, and I will be removing the pins that I used to pin it down. We'll try to sew it as neatly as possible. So now I'm going to sew. I have sewn the eye openings together, as you can see. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sew the sides. I have sewn it all round. I have sewn it at the eyes opening here and at the sides, so you can see that you can barely see the sewing. I made it as tiny and as neat as possible. So now the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this piece, I'm going to put it inside the belt. So what I did by ironing is that I ironed the center down so as to make the marking of the center of this piece. So I'm now going to make sure that I locate the center of this belt too, because I want everything to be well centralized and balanced. So now I'm just going to iron it down at the center to sort of mark it. So let me pull it down like this so that it's going to be easier for me. So the next thing I'm going to do now is that I'm going to open up the belt and then put it inside the belt. I'm just going to put it inside the belt, and just about ½ inch of this side is entering inside the belt, and I'm now going to close it down like this. So you see, as I close it down, I still have the eye opening perfectly the way it's supposed to be, and the center aligning with each other, the center of the belt and the center of the body of the face covering, they should align with each other. So now the thing I usually do is that, you know, if I'm going to sew this down, I have to make sure that it is also straight and as neat as possible. So I either use pin or sometimes I use this hemming tape to gum it down, since I'm not going to be opening it up anymore. So now I'll be using the hemming tape to gum it down. So what I'll simply do is that I'll just cut it like so and place it down like this. See, I've opened the belt back, so I'll place the hemming gum like this. It doesn't have to, you know, I don't have to gum everything. I'm just going to gum it as much as possible. You know, I'm still going to close the size of this belt. So now I'm going to close it back and gum it with iron. So now I'm just going to gum it. I'm just going to put heat on top of it and gum it down, so that while I'm sewing, it will be easy for me to just run it through with sewing machine. So you see, I have it well gummed down now. So now the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm just going to sew it like this in a straight line. So I'm not going to reach the edge because I need to close these sides, and then our niqob will be done. Now I'm just going to sew it in a straight line like this. But while sewing, I still have to make little adjustments to make sure that the two sides of the belt are well aligned. And I'm not going to be starting from the edge here because I still need to close this place when I finish sewing the straight line. So now I'm just going to sew it down from a reasonable distance from the edge. So now I'm just going to close the belt like so. I'll simply turn it inside out like this, and then I'll turn it back and then close it up. This is it. Our niqab is sewn, all neat and ready to use. So thank you so much for your support. Please do not forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and also hit the notification bell so that you are going to be get notified anytime I post a video. Thank you. Jazakumullahu khairan.